And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream here on the Film Stock channel. The first one for the month of April is April 8th, 2026, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the dot. I was on time today. I got a handy dandy water bottle right here, and I'm ready to hang out and answer questions for like an hour to an hour and a half, as I always do. Try to do one of these like every week if possible. But let's have a good time. Welcome in, everybody. If you're here live, thank you for joining. If you're here on the replay, thank you for joining. I know a lot of you guys do check this out after the fact. But welcome in. Fire off your questions. Let's talk movies, shows, sports, theme parks, whatever's going on. Fire off your question in the chat. I will make sure to get to as many as I can. There is no guarantee I'll be able to get to every question, comment, or concern, but I will try my best to do just that. And Super Chat is the way to go to guarantee that I get right down to your question, comment, concern. It's also a huge way to help support the channel. And what else? What else? Let's think of the typical opening spiel. Oh, hitting that like button is a tremendous way, again, to help out the stream. So yeah, that's kind of it. That's the gist of it. I'm going to take a sip of this water real quick. Welcome in, everybody. And let's do this thing. Let's do it. All right. Shout out to StarCard. I already see a mod in here. First question says, hey, Chris, are you going to do a review on Michael? I've seen some early reactions and people are saying it's really good. So I probably will make a video about it. So, I watched Michael. That's typically what I do with a lot of the bigger releases, at least this year, I've tried to be better at. I'm not particularly like a huge Michael Jackson fan or anything like that, but I'm intrigued for sure. I'll probably end up checking it out. Don't hold me to it, but probably. Declan says, did you watch the first 2 episodes of Maul Shadow Lord? What Star Wars content have you not watched? I have not watched the first 2 episodes of Maul Shadow Lord. I've seen like the majority of Star Wars media. Obviously, I've seen every single movie. I've seen all of Rebels, all of Clone Wars. I've seen all of Mando, all of Obi-Wan, all of Book of Boba Fett. I've seen Skeleton Crew. I've seen the ones I haven't seen. How about that's probably easier. I haven't seen the 2nd and 3rd season of The Bad Batch, but I've seen the 1st season. I haven't seen the 2nd season of Andor, which I've heard is amazing. I've only watched the 1st season, which I really liked, by the way. I just never got around to the 2nd one. I need to. And I haven't seen Star Wars Visions. I couldn't get into it. But that's not even really canon. That's just sort of an anime short thing. So those are the ones that come to mind. I've seen most Star Wars media. But I've heard some good things about Maul Shadow Lord. It intrigues me to maybe want to check it out at some point. But for some reason, I'm not inclined to do so right now. I've been rewatching The Boys. My mind is all on that. I had the ability to watch all of Daredevil season 2 early, all the episodes, which was awesome. So I've seen all of Daredevil, so I'm not watching that weekly. And now I'm watching The Boys, which I watched the 2 episodes today. And it's off to a really hot start, in my opinion. So, that's kind of what I'm watching TV-wise right now. Again, Super Chat guarantees I get to your questions. Huge way to help support the channel. Kat, what's going on? Wesley, how you doing? Hashtag the craving lives on. The inside joke lives on. Madison says, have you seen the drama? If so, what do you think? I have not seen the drama yet. I'm aware of, I think, a twist in the movie that I'm like, dang, I wish I didn't know that, but it's not that big of a deal. I've seen some tweets about the movie, but I actually haven't checked it out yet. I plan to watch it by the end of the year, but I don't know if I'm in a hurry to go see it in theaters. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome. Ooh, I like this one. What's a movie you'll always defend no matter how much hate it gets? Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Nostalgia is real, but I genuinely think it's actually a good Indiana Jones movie. It's significantly better, more charming, more nostalgic, and has the Spielberg feel way more than Dial of Destiny. So I'm kind of an Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull defender. That's my pick. I would go to on trial defending that movie. What's good? Welcome in this week for TV shows and peak. Yeah, there's been a lot of TV coming out. The Boys season 5 is off to a really great start. Daredevil's coming out. The opening of episode 4 was one of the coolest moments in the entire season involving Bullseye. Just a really cool sequence, well shot, well choreographed. That was awesome. It's been big for TV. I haven't watched the new season of Invincible, but I've heard mixed things on it. I kind of talk about that from time to time on the streams, that I'm personally maybe done with it for now, but I might check it out, down the line. We'll see. But TV is, and I think Euphoria comes out soon. I haven't seen Euphoria. There's Maul Shadow Lord. It's a really busy month for TV shows right now. Stacy, what's good? Hello. Shout out Jay Hayes for being in here. Jane says, what do you think will happen in Wednesday season 3? I think it'd be fascinating to have a season that takes place entirely outside of school. And Nevermore Academy's fate's kind of up in the air. It seems like they might be closed in season 3. But could you imagine like a road trip season almost, or summer shenanigans? I'm down for that. I think that obviously Wednesday and Fester are going to be trying to find Enid. I think that's going to be a huge plot point. But I don't know what we're going to get into. That's kind of the mystery of it all. Let's see. Do you agree Toy Story 2 is overrated and 1 and 3 are better? I think 1 and 3 are better, but I don't think 2 is overrated. I think 2 is in the top 10 Pixar movies still. It's a very close race between all those, in my opinion. What makes more money, Mando and Grogu or Supergirl? Can I say neither? Oh man, that's a funny one. I would say genuinely both of these films are going to underperform. Which one makes more money? My answer is going to be Mando and Grogu, and I'll tell you why. I think it has less competition upon release, and it still is a Star Wars movie at the end of the day. I'm not confident in saying that, but it comes out, I think, May 22nd, and there's not really a big movie the following week. So really kickstarting the summer movie season in a way is Mando and Grogu. It's a familiar enough character with audiences. Families and especially kids will want to see it, I would imagine. It probably does better. I think Supergirl, I mean, I don't know what the ceiling for Supergirl is. I think the ceiling is like 300. I've been off on a lot of my box office predictions this year. Proudly wrong about Project Hail Mary, by the way. I made a video earlier this year doing a box office tier list prediction. I was so wrong. I'm glad I was wrong. Project Hail Mary is awesome. Saw it a second time, and it's my favorite movie of the year right now. But I lowballed a lot of movies. I don't know, though. Supergirl, I just don't have a good feeling about it. It's sandwiched between, I'm pretty sure it's sandwiched between Toy Story 5 and the Minions movie. That doesn't, equal success in my opinion. That's kind of a red flag. I also just think in July you got Moana live action and Odyssey, and then Spider-Man. Those are all going to bury Supergirl on rewatch. So it really has about a week and a half to make its money. And if the movie isn't like praised initially, it's going to be a hard sell. On top of that, people have the DC fatigue. I think DC fatigue is real. So I guess like if someone said, hey, pick one right now, I would lean Mando and Grogu by a very slight margin. But there's a world where neither movie makes $300 million. Is that crazy to say? That's kind of where I'm at with it. Super 8 is always mentioned in streams. I got to watch that movie one day. I got to. Will you get any of the Stranger Things Tales from 85 Funko Pops? I might. I'll be watching that. So live stream exclusive, actually, because I feel like you guys should get that for being here in the live. I actually am going to be able to watch all of Tales from 85 early. I haven't yet, but I'm going to be able to do that, and so I'll be able to post my review of the whole season right when the embargo lifts, which is April 23rd, like when the episodes come out. And so I will have a review. I should have reactions to those episodes as well. It'll be like, what I'm thinking is each video will be combined 2 reactions. So like episode 1 and 2 reaction, and so on and so on. The pops look cool. I'm not buying any of the Tales from 85 pops until I've seen it. Because if I don't like Tales from 85, I don't want to like buy the pops. Like I know that sounds crazy, but like I just got to make sure, with season 5, like I was ready. I knew I was going to at least like season 5, and I was very satisfied with how they landed the plane. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm getting the pops. Like the Hive, this is the final season of like my favorite show. Of course, I'm getting the Funko Pops. With Tales from 85, I'm not in a rush to get the pops right now, personally. Leanna's in here. Shout out, Leanna. Good evening to you as well. I just finished a mammoth Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, El Camino rewatch, and am missing that world so bad right now. Any recommendations on shows I should try next? I got one for you. First of all, I was in the middle of one of those, and then it just got interrupted by the craziness of Stranger Things 5. I finished the first 3 seasons of Breaking Bad in like October, I want to say, or like September, October. And then like Stranger Things craziness just took over. I'm going to resume that at some point in time. I don't know when, but I'm going to finish Breaking Bad, and then I'm going to do Better Call Saul and El Camino. And at that point, I will do a ranking on the channel of everything, but there is no timeline for that. That could be 2 years from now. But no, I love that universe. Great. I'm glad you enjoyed the rewatch. It's phenomenal. I would say this is a recommendation I bring up every few months, and I think it's a great show, especially if you like dark humor, but also like crime drama-esque shows. I would say Barry. If you haven't seen Barry, it's on HBO. I guess HBO Max. It is a 4-season show. Each episode's only about 30 minutes. And Bill Hader plays a hitman who in the first episode goes to do a hit, but he ends up walking into an acting class. And he's like, oh, I think I might want to quit being a hitman and become an actor. But then this madness unfolds. He gets, entangled with like a mob, and it's just insanity. Henry Winkler is the acting teacher. There's a lot of hilarious moments. The seasons do get darker as they go, but it'll keep you on your toes. It'll make you laugh, but it's just really well-written drama as well. So I would recommend Barry if you want like a quick hitter show. It's on HBO Max. Any ideas on it? Like I've kind of said in my videos, I cannot. Like I have to believe this is a campaign. Or like, here's my thing. I believe we as the audience currently are supposed to believe Tales from 85 is canon. Canon, meaning it happens in the world of Stranger Things. If the show wants me to believe that, I won't. Unless it's a campaign. It is, and I'm at peace with it. Like I'm not angry. It's not going to ruin my viewing experience because I know when I go into it, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to watch it through. And if by the time the credits roll in the last episode, it's not, outed that this was a campaign and they were all just having fun, all it was an imagination, I'm then going to step back and say, okay, this is not canon. And that's okay. Like, it's just, they took the world of Stranger Things and they gave us a fun little story in that world. I can acknowledge that, but it is still going to be like, it's going to irk me a little, especially if the people involved are like, hey, yeah, this is canon. And it totally makes sense that this happened between seasons, right? No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all if that's the case. And so like, I'm okay. I just wish they would almost acknowledge it. This is from the imagination of the world of Stranger Things. Let's go on this tale together. Like some opening crawl, literally, to let us know this is all fake. I'd rather that than them try and sell it as real, because that's just BS. I don't care what franchise it is. I adore Stranger Things. If they did that with Star Wars, with Marvel, with DC, with The Boys, like with any franchise, I would be like, seriously? It's like asking the audience if this was the Marvel Cinematic Universe to believe that. I mean, I'm pretty sure What If is not canon, but if it's almost like What If. No one views What If as canon. It's that kind of thing. Other multiverse, that's what it is. That's kind of how I'm viewing it, if we're supposed to believe it's real. But we'll see. Only time will tell with that. What's the worst season of Cobra Kai? For me, it's season 6. I agree, it is season 6. I thought about it, and it's season 6 because it's 15 episodes, and the 3-part release model is interesting. I think they really landed the plane well. But season 6, it's when this show was the most absurd. It was the most ridiculous. I still, again, love so many moments, but I think, like, as a distinct season of television, 6 is probably the weakest. When do you think we get the first trailer for OBX5 P4L, baby? I would say this month we get news on the release date. That's optimistic. So April 15th is the 6-year anniversary of not Cobra Kai, Outer Banks premiering on Netflix. And I kind of think we're going to get something that day, like a little tease video from the cast, maybe giving us the release date. I don't know for sure, but that's kind of where I'm at personally with that. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yes, I will be reviewing the Stranger Things Tales from 85 series later this month. I'll be having reactions, all that jazz. Is Tales of 85 the campaign like a conformity yet? I guess it is. I'm far down the rabbit hole. What's good, everybody? Welcome in. Good to see you guys here. Welcome. It hurt me when I watched your reaction to Dial of Destiny years ago. I could tell you were hurt. It really hurt me, man. I'm serious. Like I really was devastated by that movie. As a huge fan of Indiana Jones, it just didn't do it for me. I wanted a great like final send off, and it was just very mediocre. And I was really baffled by what they did in the third act of that film. I to this day, I still am kind of upset by it. Really, I can't believe it. Honestly, I can't. Have you seen 30 Days of Night? I have not. Anyone else miss the pre-season 5 era last year? Yeah, deeply. I think about it often. And I said this when I was covering season 5. I was like, we're in the we're in the good old days right now. We need to cherish this. Like, obviously, we're excited for what's to come, but we didn't know how good we had it until it was all gone. And now it's like spin-off news. Are we actually even going to get a spin-off at this rate? Like, you would think they'd fast-track a live-action spin-off. I'm losing hope on that. We'll see. We got a long year ahead of us, and obviously July 15th is the 10-year anniversary of Stranger Things. They're probably going to give us something. And Tales from 85 is cool and all, but I personally will say, and I have to admit, like I'm 1,000 times more excited for new characters in the world. Like we're expanding, like making a cinematic universe out of it. I'm not saying we need to see anyone related to 11 Mike, etc., but just in the world, give us something. It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There are projects in the world that are never connected. They're just, it's like, oh yeah, this is in the world, and maybe give us some more backstory on that rock. But I don't know when they'll want to get involved with that or not. We shall see. We got a super chat here from Builds by Hunter. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. I'm going to start posting videos on YouTube about movies. Any advice on how to create and grow a channel and make good content? I would say you got to just go for it. That's very cliche advice anytime someone asks, but it's true. Like for years in high school, I was like, I want to do YouTube. And I would like ask my friends, they're like, do it, man, do it. But I'd always think of some excuse. Oh, well, what about the editing? What about the production value, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? You just got to start somewhere. I started with my phone, no mic, just my phone. I put it on, balanced it on a stack of board games and a bar stool, and you just film and you go from there and you get better every time. I would say the biggest piece of advice though, like you'll figure out the technology side of things as you go and the editing side of things as you go with all the different softwares and toy around with it. You'll get better each time you upload a video. My biggest piece of advice is to be authentic. So many people always, it's very clear to me when people almost lie about like in reactions, especially, people just very over the top, inauthentic things. Like if you're passionate about something, that shows, I think. And I feel like I've been passionate about Stranger Things, and I hope that you guys, saw that when I covered season 5 heavily. But like I'm trying to think of an example. Like if I started making videos about Avatar, which I infamously don't really care for, but I was acting like super excited about it, and it just, you can tell. I just think you can tell. I think people have a radar built in for authentic reaction content reviews, and just be true too. Like, and it's tough when you're starting. Like if you're in the minority on how you feel about a movie, to really say how you feel, it can be scary because people will attack you no matter what you do or how politely you word something. People get offended because you don't agree with their opinion. They're going to come at you, and that's part of it. So I guess learn how to just let those comments bounce off. I get comments every day, people saying something negative, and that's just part of it. So you just gotta move on from it, and just you'll gain that confidence. Hold on, this is a good one. A fun video would be reacting to your box office predictions at the end of the year. That could be the move. I was going to do that last year. All my end of year videos last year just got lost in the hustle and bustle of Stranger Things. Like I didn't even do a ranking of 2025 movies. Granted, 2025 is like my second, probably least favorite year of the decade for movies. I didn't care for it. I think we had significantly better years in 23, 24, even 22 and 21. So I was just really bummed with the movies last year, but that could be fun. That could be fun. I like it. I appreciate that, Carter. Thank you, man. Thank you. Keep Watch Burn. Yeah, that's how it goes. Absolutely. I love doing those. We got Ratatouille up in Monsters University, some Pixar movies. I'm keeping Ratatouille because anyone can cook, baby. That movie is phenomenal. It's my favorite Pixar film, straight up. That means a lot to me. It's just a great film. I'm watching Up. It's a devastating film. The one watch would probably destroy me for life, even though I've already seen it. And then I guess I'll burn Monsters U. Even though I think it's a criminally underrated Pixar film, I'd have to let that one go, probably. Favorite side character in Born Again Season 2. What's his name? Gandolfini. What's his name? Daniel? Is that his name? Hold on, let me double check real quick. Pretty sure his name's Daniel. That's my favorite supporting character. I thought he was great. Yeah, Daniel. That's my favorite supporting character in Born Again Season 2. I like what they've done with him and BB. I think that's a compelling relationship. Buck is also, strengthened. With Season 1, a lot of the supporting characters were just like throwaway cardboard, kind of. They've actually made them humans and added a lot of depth to them in the second season. Is the Stranger Things fandom good? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think that, this is a transitional era for Stranger Things as a whole, where the show just ended a few months ago. A lot of other things have come out, people are talking about and excited about. But no, I always think there will be a very strong core Stranger Things fandom. That's just my take. Have you ever watched School Spirits? If not, you should. It has Peyton List and Milo Manum. I haven't, but it's actually been recommended on stream before, and I have written in my notes to watch that show at some point. I think I saw recently they're doing a 4th season, so maybe I'll try and catch up before then, but who knows? Do you think we're going to do a Super Smash movie? Yeah, I do. Not like ASAP, but I think that is what they're ultimately kind of building to as their Avengers. It's the writing's on the wall, and it's just that would make $2 billion. I'm pretty comfortable in saying that. You have Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Bowser, all the Mario characters, but you also maybe, you got Star Fox in there, so you got Falco, Fox McCloud, excuse me, and then you throw in you get Kirby in there. You somehow get I don't know how crazy they want to get with the budget or how this works rights wise. You somehow throw Sonic in there. I don't know which iteration of Super Smash they want to do. It could get nuts. It could get nuts, folks. Appreciate you guys for being in here, by the way. Be sure to hit that like button. Top 10 Teen Wolf characters. Damn, that's a good one. I'll tell you right now. There are actually few fictional deaths that devastate me as much as someone in that show. And I won't say who it is in case you haven't seen. But I'll say my favorite characters in no order. I'll give you 5. How about that? I don't know if they're 10 worthy of being ranked. I'll go 5 characters, no order. Styles Stilinski, Allison Argent for sure. Probably my fave, to be honest with you. I would say Derek has to be in there. Derek's awesome, and played by Tyler Hoechlin, who, of course, is Superman. He just kind of appears. I think he's the man. He's awesome. Those 3 are my top 3. Then from there, I would probably go. We'll go with Lydia, and then we'll go with. I guess we'll go with Scott. We'll go with Scott to round out the list. I have not seen the new Mall show. I need to. I've heard it's really good. Top 5 MCU villains in no order. Thanos, Loki, pre-Loki show, when he was just a conventional villain in Thor and Avengers. So I go Loki, Thanos, Defoe's Goblin definitely feels like cheating, but I'm going to throw him on the list anyway. MCU villains. Those come to mind immediately. Who else we got? We got Vulture, who I think is phenomenal, played by Michael Keaton. The reveal still gives me chills in Homecoming. And then I'd probably throw a bone to I don't know. That's tough. High Evolutionary is great, but it's not calling to me. I don't know. I really don't. Maybe Kingpin from the TV shows. That also feels like cheating. Favorite character from the boys group. It depends on the season, really and truly. I mean that. I would say right now, I love, especially what they've done in 2 episodes in season 5. I love Kimiko. She has skyrocketed into my ranking. I also think MM has skyrocketed in my ranking. I think it's one of those 2. Huey's awesome. Butcher, I feel like is excluded from that at this point, at least. I would say Kimiko or MM. Yesterday, I saw The Social Network. Hell yes. This is arguably my favorite movie of all time. So I have seen Breaking Bad. I just was doing a rewatch. So I've seen it all. I love it. It's one of my top 5 shows ever. I was just doing a rewatch when I was talking about earlier. So I was in 3 seasons in, and then I fell off with it in terms of a rewatch, but I have seen it. What's your favorite Marvel show? I don't know. I would say it's one of 3. I would go, it's either Loki, season 1 and 2, Daredevil as a whole, that includes the first 3 seasons, and then Born Again, and then maybe those 2 come to mind. Those are the 2, probably. Can I make a separate channel where I do gaming? I don't think so, but I used to dabble back in the day. For those who are around, I used to do Twitch streams, and they were a lot of fun. It was quite a thrill. I did Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, the Complete Saga, Jedi Fallen Order. It was a lot of Star Wars streams, and then I did some Spider-Man games. But those were that was a really fun time for me. It was years ago now. It was 5 years ago. It was 2021. I did Twitch streams. I probably would never dabble with gaming content again, but it was. I look back fondly on it. I played a lot of Fall Guys. Is that what it's called? Fall Guys. Yeah, that game was a lot of fun. What role do you think Sadie Sink will be in Brand New Day? I'm pretty confident she's got to be Jean Grey. I think Sadie Sink has to be at this point almost. All right. Most killed franchise is Rambo. Are you saying like franchise with the most kills in it, or franchise that fell off? Because if you're saying franchise that fell off, I would say that the last film was abysmal. It really was. Was it called Last Blood? That one was bad. That was bad. Have I watched The Rookie? I can't recall. I think I might have seen parts of it back in the day, though. Matt's in here. Shout out, Matt. Ooh, I like this one. CinemaCon is next week. Do you think Netflix will announce a Stranger Things menu? I don't know if we'll get anything for Stranger Things at CinemaCon. I feel like it's a lot more movie-oriented. I think we're going to get some big trailers, though. I think Doomsday, potentially, for Avengers, and I think we might just get some other news on Marvel films as well. Maybe Beyond the Spider-Verse. That would be neat. I know that last CinemaCon, they gave us some stills, but we'll see. Maybe July 15th will be the release of the Broadway play. I certainly hope so. I know they filmed it. That would be phenomenal. I can't wait to watch that finally. But yeah, I'm going to watch Project Hail Mary for the second time. Had to pop in and say, hey, have a good night, man. Enjoy it. I saw it round 2, 70mm IMAX. That was the way to go. It was one of the coolest viewing experiences I've personally ever had. I've been recommended, Attack on Titan frequently, and I'll watch it eventually. It's just a matter of when. It's a matter of when, really. Let's see, looking for some questions here in the chat. How much money would Kenobi have made as released in theaters? That's one of my biggest... I will die on the hill that was one of the biggest mistakes Disney's ever made, to not make Obi-Wan Kenobi into a movie. I've said it a million times on stream over the years. I'll say it again. Imagine a teaser trailer. It's a minute. All right. You're sitting in theaters. You had no idea it was coming out. You're a random guy who's, you're not too big into movies. You're just sitting there excited to be at the movies. And it's the final trailer before the movie starts. It's a big Marvel movie. And you just hear a voiceover. It's Ewan McGregor. He's out in the desert walking. You get a shot of his face in the end, couple shots of Star Destroyer, whatever it may be. And then it goes to black. You hear Vader breathing. We see darkness, Obi-Wan looking on, blue lightsaber ignited in the dark, and then the red ignition of Vader and the red saber coming on screen. Obi-Wan Kenobi, summer 2022, $1.5 billion minimum. It literally was it was essentially a sequel to Revenge of the Sith. And they chose to make it a 6-episode show on Disney Plus that didn't really even focus on Obi-Wan all that much for a lot of the time. Young Leia was there. Inquisitors were involved. It was maybe the biggest fumble I've ever seen from Disney. It was disgusting what they ended up doing with it. I can't believe it. I'm in shock, genuinely. Oh my gosh, I'm in shock. I'm just going to address this. So I've been asked about One Piece a bunch, and it just got away from me. I think I'm going to finish it out. I do apologize. I know a lot of you guys were enjoying that series. I'm pretty confident it will be coming back in April at some point. I have 5 episodes left to get out, but I was watching it, and then bang, some things came up, and it just kind of fell to the wayside, unfortunately. I have nothing against the show. I was enjoying season 2, episode 3. I thought was awesome. The Zoro fight was sick. It's just one of those things where I got busy doing other content, and bang, it's just like, whoop, I just forgot about it for a bit there. And so I want to get back on the train. I'm trying to figure out the structure of release for that and what exactly that's going to entail and look like. But I do apologize. I know some of you guys have inquired about the One Piece reactions. And they fell to the wayside. They'll be back at some point. I don't want to say when. I don't want to give anyone false hope for release date or anything like that. But I gotta get those 5 more to do. And I know that season 3 comes out in 2027, which is exciting. But yeah, that's the deal with the One Piece stuff. Super chat just came in from Star Wars Fanboy. Always got a shout out to Luke Skywalker profile pic, by the way. Appreciate the super chat. Again, that's the way you would guarantee I get your question, comment, concern. Shout out to the 95 people watching live. I salute you. Hey, Chris, I'm currently doing a Steven Spielberg marathon. Hell yes. As a lead up to Disclosure Day, and as of now, I finished Raiders, doing ET tonight. So you're in 1982 now. Enjoy that. Enjoy that ride. It's a hell of a ride. Yeah, I started a Spielberg marathon about a year ago, and I got all the way to the second Jurassic Park. The next movie on my list is Amistad. And at some point this year, I'm picking it back up. I actually started Amistad like a month ago, and I was watching it on Tubi for free, and for some reason the ads just kind of sucked. I was like, oh, I can watch it on here. Didn't realize how many ads they were going to spam, and so I just need to rent the movie next time I try and watch it. There's a few historical films like 2.5 hour plus films that are going to be a bit challenging to find the right mindset to sit through. Not a shot at Spielberg. He's a very versatile director, but there was a phase in his filmography where he was making a lot of historical epic type films. Like I am dreading having to watch Lincoln. I've tried to years ago, and it wasn't for me at all. There are just films in his filmography that are like that I just don't care for like at all. And Amistad was one that was gonna like a very heavy drama, right? Like Color Purple, great film, very heavy drama. I'll never watch it again. Schindler's List, I've seen twice. I might watch 1 or 2 more times in my life, but it's like every like 7 to 10 years because of how draining it is. But it's a phenomenal movie, won Best Picture. It's just, taxing to endure. And so some of his films, it's not like sitting down to watch Tarantino's filmography, where it's like you know what you're getting into. It's not like sitting down to watch Nolan's filmography, where you know pretty much what you're getting into. It's like you'll have an Indiana Jones movie and Jurassic Park, and then boom, a movie in Schindler's List, or boom, Amistad, or boom, Lincoln. And then you'll have like the BFG. It's just like Spielberg is amazing, and he's stood the test of time as a director. But something about his filmography is intriguing to me because he has misses. He's a legend, but he has a lot of misses as well. He has some bangers, all-time films. He's done it every decade of his career. But like he has some lows, and it's weird when you compare him to someone like a Nolan or a Tarantino, where I don't think they've made a bad movie. So it's a bit fascinating to me the more I think about it. But hey, enjoy the rewatch truly, and or the marathon that is, and I will pick back up with that at some point. When I self-inflict, I guess, these challenges for myself, I typically burn out on them because I'm like I turn it into some sort of like school project from back in the day, and I don't know why I do that. I set like these made up dates in my head. You have to watch this movie by this date. And like, that's not, I don't want to watch movies that way. So that's what ends up happening when I'm very strict on myself about movie watching deadlines. Cause I think movie watching is supposed to be leisurely and fun and, escapist almost, but I will pick back up with that at some point. Adam said with a super chat, thank you. Adam says The Boys season 5 episode 1 best premiere of the whole show. I think it is. Yeah, I think it is a top tier episode of the show. It immediately, I'm not going to say any spoilers, by the way. So if you guys haven't seen it, do not worry. I will not be spoiling. It immediately lets us know how high the stakes are. And it frankly, what it does is it says, hey guys, no one is safe. No one is safe. Consequences are coming. Like no one is safe. I fear for everyone at this point after that episode. I'm like, that is how you open a season. You came out swinging. We know what's at stake. It freaking opens with basically there's like a prison break of sorts in the episode. That's not really even spoilery. And it's like Homelander's unhinged. This is what we've waited for. It was set up so well in season 4. It took a while to get there in season 4, but I've said for 2 years now, that finale set up a potentially great season, and I think we're going to get that. So, wow. I would say it's the best. I think I'd go 5. This is season premieres. I would go 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gavin in here. Shout out, Gavin. Thank you for super chat, man. Have you seen Children of Men? I have. It's been years. I saw it in college, I want to say, or maybe no. Yeah, I think I watched it in like 2018, 2019. So it's been a long time. I think I went in expecting it to be one thing, and then it wasn't that thing. It still has like the incredible wonder that's like talked about from that movie. I just think I need to revisit it in a more mature mindset. Like it's been not 10 years, but coming up on 10 years since I've seen that movie. There are some movies that I watched at that time in my life that I just went in with the wrong mindset. And so like, I'll give you examples of ones I need to rewatch, and will almost be like first time viewings because of like how much my mindset has changed. There Will Be Blood, Children of Men, The Master. Like these are movies that I watched in like 2018 to 2020. And I was like, maybe I was in over my head. I just didn't. I know what I'm getting into now. Maybe I can appreciate them more. Those are the kinds of movies I need to watch again. But I remember moments from Children of Men. Who is the worst and best of the main kids in Stranger Things? To me, Dustin is the best and Mike is the worst. I want to make it known that I like them all. I would say Dustin is the best. I agree with you. I would say the worst. I think it's Will. I know people love Will, but I think of the four, if we're talking the OG mains, I think Will is at the bottom of the list for me. Do you think Stranger Things will be rebooted? I think nothing is safe from being rebooted years from now. I mean, it's one of Netflix's biggest shows of all time. What's to stop them from 10 to 15 years just redoing Stranger Things, like entirely, like remaking it? Nothing is stopping them. And that's scary. And that's the world we live in. I've realized that now. Like, I used to think, oh, some things are safe. I was like, we'll never get, like, Gladiator, they're never touching it. We got a sequel 20 years later. 25 years later, 24 years, whatever. Some things you're like, oh, they're never going to do anything with it. We're getting like Lord of the Rings. People were like, oh, they're never doing another. We got a Hobbit trilogy. They're making like 2 or 3 Lord of the Rings movies now. Star Wars. Oh, it's untouchable after the prequels. Nope. They've done about 1 million TV shows in another trilogy. It's going to happen to every franchise we love. So I'm kind of just, I'm accepting that. Honestly, at some point, they're probably going to try and do a redo of it. Why? Probably because business. Because of, they'll make that business decision. 2026 is on pace to be the biggest box office year since 2019, as it should be. As it should be. I think that there are going to be some bangers this year that are going to do numbies. 2019 had a ton of billion-dollar films. I'm going to name some off the top of my head. Rise of Skywalker, Endgame, Captain Marvel, Frozen 2, Aladdin live action, Lion King live action. There were a few others as well. I'm genuinely like, a lot of those are just Disney movies too. Joker made $1 billion in 2019. Right? Joker made $1 billion, I want to say. It did. Yeah. So what are we talking about? 2019 was insane. Would you rather have a sequel to Weapons or sequel to Sinners? Weapons. I think that there's just so much it doesn't have to even, I think they're doing a prequel from what I saw, but I think I'm more intrigued by the lore of Weapons and what the hell, like the backstory of Aunt Gladys. I think there's so much they could do in that world. Whereas with Sinners, it's kind of definitively over. You know what I'm saying? So I would say I would rather see a Weapons sequel. Am I checking out the Malcolm in the Middle reunion? So I've actually never really watched a lot of Malcolm in the Middle in general. So probably not. But shout out to, to Bryan Cranston for returning. That's awesome. By the way, there's 90 people in here. Thank you guys for being here. Hello, I'm Chris. If you didn't know, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see tons of movie and TV videos, and hit that like button, helps out a lot. Super Chat here says we need Gwen Stacy and MJ doesn't remember. So you think Sadie's going to be Gwen Stacy potentially? Oh, and I hope MJ doesn't remember. I see what you're putting. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So you think we should move on from MJ and go the Gwen Stacy route? I think maybe. But also Zendaya is such a big star and anything's possible. Maybe in this movie, like Tom Spidey, like definitively moves on from that and they set up Gwen in the future. But it's going to be interesting to see. It's really going to be interesting to see. Because I think Spider-Gwen in live action is something we need. We got some really good questions coming in here, by the way, and I'm going to try and get to them all. But the only way to guarantee I can get to your question is Super Chat. It's a huge way to help support the channel. Keep Watch Burn 2025 movie Sinners, Final Destination Bloodlines, bring her back. Okay, I'm sorry to my boy Jacob for this one. I know this is going to upset him. I'm going to bring her back. I thought it was fine. I really appreciate and respect the filmmaking. It is not an issue with the directors. It was more of like just a subject material thing for me, and it's just my personal cup of tea. It was really dark, depressing, and like, it just bummed me out a little bit, Again, all respect to the filmmakers. I will watch what they do next. But I would say of those, that's the one I would like never go back to again, probably. So I would burn that. I would watch Sinners because genuinely I need to watch Sinners again. I've seen it once. I liked it. I didn't love it. I really felt like I missed the boat. I know there was a huge hype train. I wasn't on the hype train, but I wanted to be. And then I would keep Bloodlines. That movie, like if I gave out awards, which I might actually need to start doing. That's a fun idea. I'm going to write that down. Like 2026 movie awards. And I just make up my own categories. If I were to do that, Final Destination Bloodlines would get what's the term I would give it? Like, movie that's grown the most on me. I would think of a clever name, but like I initially think I gave it like 3 stars. I watched it again, it bumped up to 4. It is arguably this just the outright second best Final Destination movie. I think I go 1 and like 5 and Bloodlines are right next to each other. But Bloodlines is so fun and it was refreshing for the franchise. I think I'll watch it again this year probably. Like around Halloween. Like I enjoy that franchise, and I found that I enjoy horror franchises. Well, here's the thing. I know my buddy Jacob will understand this. Like, I found that there are pretty much no horror franchises where every movie is like great. You kind of just you get hooked in with that first movie for like the lore or a character, and then you're like, screw it, I'm just watching the rest of these, and they become like comfort franchises in a sense. You're like, I want to see what ridiculous scenario plays out. Like, that's why I watch the Saw movies, because I'm like, I want to see what Jigsaw cooks up and what the twist is. Oh, Final Destination, I want to see what the premonition is and how the hell this person's going to die in a crazy way. Like, it's a silly fantasy world. It's not real, it's fiction. And so I'm just drawn in to Final Destination. I like Saw, which is like so strange, you know. But there's something about the lore of those franchises that hooks me, and that's why I know a lot of people are passionate about Halloween and Friday the 13th and Scream, which I love the Scream franchise, by the way. Like one day, I will probably, and I don't know when this day will come. I want to watch all the iconic horror franchises like fully, just because screw it. Like, why not? They're like most of them are like an hour and a half anyway. So, and then I can like comparing them all. But yeah, that's how I rank those. I kind of just went off on a tangent there. Did you see what Noah Schnapp said at a recent convention that his character should have died when Vecna was killed because of his connection to the Hive mind? I didn't see this comment, but this actually did come up in Stranger Things Rewind for season 5, where I brought up the point, and it's something that I addressed in my breakdown back in January of season 5, that Will has a connection to the Hive mind. And so in the finale, when Eleven and company, right, are fighting Vecna, the Mind Flayer, and inflicting damage on them, Will, who's tapped in, mind you, to Vecna's mind, would feel this pain because it's been shown and displayed earlier in the season. And at that point, it's one of two things. It's a forgotten thing by the Duffers and company, and we're supposed to look past it. Or it is we're accepting that Will is strong enough to overpower the pain for about 8 to 10 seconds. And I lean that. Would it have been more meaningful to have someone die? Potentially. I don't know. Like I'm not the one to make that call. Obviously, that's on the Duffers and the writers. Could we have lost more people? Probably could have lost one character. Like you could have taken out a Murray Ballman. You know, I was on the Murray death train the whole season. They didn't even kill him. It's whatever. Would it have changed a lot? I don't know. We still did lose a character though. I think 11 is if you like, she's dead, but if you don't believe she's dead, she's never coming back. And so she's gone. And so they did kill someone. It's just, you get to choose, you get to make your own story. I think there's a beauty to that. And so, yeah. Anyway, that's kind of my little tangent there. Appreciate you guys for hanging out here. It's already been 43 minutes, by the way. I'm having a fun time. Feels like an OG stream. I don't know how else to say that. Like, if you've been around the channel for a while, like the vibes are high right now. Any shows like One Tree Hill that you recommend? One Tree Hill is so fun. I watched it all in 2024 from like April. I think it was like more like May to August. It was 9 seasons. It was an absurd amount of television. I loved it. It was like a soap opera almost. I mean, just ridiculous at times. But I kind of like to wind down to those kinds of shows at night. It's like very comforting to me. Teen Wolf has a comparable feel, but that's a lot more fantasy. What's a show like One Tree Hill? I don't know. Friday Night Lights. Friday Night Lights is my recommendation. Hold on. It's very similar in the sense that it's centered around a small town that sort of gather around sports. You got, the Tree Hill Ravens basketball team. This is going to be, I believe it's East Dillon or just I forget their mascot, the Panthers maybe, but it's a football team and it's a Texas town. And Kyle Chandler won a freaking Emmy for playing, Coach Taylor. That show I've wanted to rewatch so badly. Like it's the first show I ever binge watched, along with How I Met Your Mother. This was like 2014. I binge watched on Netflix How I Met Your Mother and Friday Night Lights. And so, Friday Night Lights, that would be my recommendation. It's got, similar characters. It's dramatic, I would say that. Yeah, I would say that. Love season 5 rerun. Well, thank you. We're having fun doing it. We're having fun doing it. What movie? What movie will do most in box office this year? First week, Avengers: Doomsday. Reason being is even like the worst Marvel movies that like fall off a cliff after week one have monstrous opening weekends because people have to go see it. They have to be a part of the conversation and avoid spoilers. I think Doomsday is going to have a monster opening weekend. Anything after that, I'm honestly can't predict well. This also does depend on when it releases. It might bump up to December 11th. It's going to have a monster opening weekend. I think like I don't want to like, I mean, I'm pretty sure Super Mario Galaxy opened to like 370. I think that might have been for the 5-day. But I think, guys, I think Doomsday could open to like, hold on. Let me get a comparison point. I don't want to just throw out a silly number. Hold on. I think Endgame opened to over $1 billion worldwide. Let's look at Infinity War. Infinity War opening weekend. So Infinity War, Jesus Christ. Infinity War opened to 640 million worldwide, 257 domestic. I was leaning 600 in my head. For the sake of this, I think it opens to 500 million worldwide. Because you got to factor in, in the US alone, it's doing 190 minimum. It's probably doing 200 plus in the US. I mean, Black Panther, I think, opened like 205. It's doing 250 in the US. Probably. People, they're just going to want to see it, okay? They're going to want to see it. I'm not saying it's going to be the highest grossing movie ever, but there's going to be a genuine curiosity. Even the haters, even like people on the fence, like I know plenty of people in my real life off the internet on the fence, they're going to see the movie though. They've told me. So yeah, then you factor in the international box office. China, especially, it's going to do nummies. Yeah. So I would go Doomsday, if not Doomsday opening weekend. We're not talking longevity. That's why I'm not saying certain movies that I think will have longevity, like say Moana, I think will have longevity. I don't know if it'll be like all at once, but like all of July, it's going to make a crap ton of money. I would say Doomsday. I think that's like the clear answer. I think Doomsday opening weekend is bigger than Spider-Man opening weekend. Why? Because of the holiday push. Anyway. I have all 11 Fast and Furious movies on Blu-ray. I don't know why that came out of me. Any favorites? Fast 5 was like the coolest one to me. I kind of fell off with that franchise rather, but Fast 5 is the coolest one. Shout out, honorable mention, Hobbs and Shaw. It's not all that bad. Then the first one is like pretty cool too, honestly. The others are like, eh. Gavin with another super chat. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. What movie do you think will be better, The Social Reckoning or The Adventures of Cliff Booth? I love the question, and I'm going to tell you why. Both involve sort of a Fincher and Sorkin. Let me explain. So The Social Reckoning is a sequel to The Social Network. Sequel, I say that loosely. Aaron Sorkin is writing and directing the film. Aaron Sorkin, of course, wrote The Social Network. David Fincher is not coming back to direct, but David Fincher is directing The Adventures of Cliff Booth. The Adventures of Cliff Booth is written by Quentin Tarantino. So we have ourselves quite the conversation here. I would say The Adventures of Cliff Booth will be better. I trust a Tarantino script directed by Fincher more than a Sorkin script directed by Sorkin. That's the problem. If Fincher was directing Social Reckoning, I'm picking that no-brainer. But history has shown that Sorkin isn't the best director of his own work. And my main point of evidence for that is The Trial of the Chicago 7, which I watched on Netflix back in 2020. A very well-written movie, but he gets in his own way as a director. He's a writer. He's a phenomenal writer. He wrote Moneyball. He wrote Social Network. He wrote Steve Jobs. But all three of those movies, he's paired with a different director. He's paired with Fincher. He's paired, I think Bennett Miller directed Moneyball, and he's paired with freaking, what's his name? He's paired with, what's his name? I'm blanking here. Hold on. This is going to bother me. He directed 127. Danny Boyle for Steve Jobs. What? I mean, that movie, if Fincher came back and if they got like Eisenberg back, that would be probably my most anticipated movie of the year. But I lean Adventures of Cliff Booth. It's going to be fun. Like, it's just going to be pure fun. And I feel like Sorkin might get into his own way. It's sad to say, but Sorkin really can get in his own way as a director. How do I feel about the direction they took The Last Jedi? I don't care for it. I think that they did irreparable damage to Star Wars. It doesn't like hurt my soul or anything, but a mistake that the film makes is change a beloved character so much off screen. Right, the last time we saw Luke, there was this triumphant ending to Return of the Jedi. He's celebrating with everyone as they destroy the Death Star. He's looking off. He sees the Force ghosts of Yoda, Obi-Wan, Anakin, and he's like happy, go get him. It's like there's optimism in the air. And then the next time you see this guy who's like everyone's hero and the hero of Star Wars, he's like down on his luck, get bent. I don't want anything to do with you. And then they explain to us, oh, well, he got, he tried to kill Kylo and, there was this lure to the dark side, blah, blah, blah. It's a mistake. I think it's a genuine mistake for any franchise to take a beloved icon. Sorry, I'm looking at something real quick. Anyway, I got a text I needed to read. It's a mistake to take a beloved icon and make them sort of the grumpy old man. I think Dial of Destiny does this as well. It's kind of a problem I have where last time we saw him, he's married to Marion, and it's like they tease, will Shia Mutt be the next Indy? Then he won't. And then you fast forward and he's divorced damn near. He's not, I guess not fully, but he's like lost his son. He's like depressed. Like that's not Indiana Jones. What are we doing? So I just don't understand that. I think that's the biggest mistake with The Last Jedi. Throw in the bullcrap on the planet with what was that planet called? Canto Bight, the casino stuff with horse racing. It was just, oh my God. So much of that movie, I bury it. I've only seen The Rise of Skywalker fully one time. I don't think I can ever watch it again. How do you feel about Project Hail Mary? Great film. Great film. It's gone up for me on rewatch because I was able to differentiate it from the book. I read the book 12 days, like leading up to it. I read it like every day, and then I finished it. I literally saw the movie the next day. And so I was so keen on every little detail. Oh, that's not from the book. That's not from the book. I still thought it was a great adaptation, but when I watched the movie about a month later, in 70mm IMAX, mind you, the biggest screen I've ever seen a movie on, I was so much more enamored by it all, and I was able to appreciate it and the changes they chose to make. Mango Turtle with a super chat. Do you have a question? Let me know if you got a question to go with it. Where the hell was I? I seemingly lost my spot. Okay, there I was. I answered this. Do I think Wednesday will die in season 3? No. I think Wednesday will. I think that's a show that Netflix needs. They don't have a lot of marquee, marketable home run hitter shows right now. This is post Squid Game. This is post Stranger Things. Those are their two biggest shows ever. They still have Bridgerton. That doesn't have as big of a draw, in my opinion, but they need like those fandom shows, and Wednesday's kind of one of them. And so, they lost Cobra Kai. They're losing Outer Banks, and they're losing the shows that appeal to like, young adult, teenage audiences, people in their 20s. And Wednesday's got to stick around to me. I don't think they'll kill Wednesday. I don't think they'll kill Enid either. I think they're both going to be around. They're like the main characters of the franchise. Which band do you like better, NSYNC or One Direction? Give me 1D, One Direction. I have seen Shang-Chi. I could have pulled Wenwu for an MCU villain. Yeah, I could have done that. Have you played the Spider-Man games? I have played the first one like 1.5 times. I never played Morales, and I never played Spider-Man 2, which I've said, oh, I'm going to play it. And then I always preface by saying, I'm like, asterisk, I never give myself time to play video games. And that still is true. I rarely sit down to play video games, except for recently. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was playing Wii Golf. I hooked up my old Wii. I ordered an adapter that goes from the Wii straight into an HDMI port, so I don't have to use like the 3 color prongs. And I was running Wii Sports Resort, Wii Sport, Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros. Like, it was so much fun. But I haven't finished the series. I know I need to, and I would love to. It's just I genuinely don't play video games. I'm like, I'm going to watch a movie or show to wind down. I just don't game enough. I did see Daredevil episode 4. It was quite a thrill, that opening sequence, eh? CinemaCon movie warranted. That it is. Favorite Captain America movie? Civil War is my favorite one. I think it's cheating because it's essentially an Avengers movie, but that's kind of where I've always stood with that. Just finished Game of Thrones. I binged it in 1 week. Damn, that's a lot to process in 1 week. Do you think we will ever get a spinoff? No, I don't. There were murmurs they were going to do a Jon Snow series. That was shut down. I heard it was going to do, but basically what I just said earlier, where like Jon Snow is going to be depressed. Who wants to watch that? What is it with like franchises? I think we're moving away from it, hopefully, but like franchises taking icons and being like, you know what? Let's do a sequel where they got depressed off screen and open with them down in the dumps. That's what we want to see. It's like it's a huge mistake in my opinion. I can't stand when they do that. So yeah, it's just like, what are you doing? No, I don't think we'll get any sequels for that. I think they're going to ride with House of the Dragon. I think it's doing 4 seasons, and they're probably going to do a couple more of Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I accidentally super chatted before I wrote a message. Lol, no worries. Who would win in a fight, the evil grandma from X or the evil grandma from The Visit? So I haven't seen The Visit, but I'm aware of the spoilers. So like, don't feel bad if that like. I kind of know the gist of that one. Growing up, there was a certain age where I just was like, spoil it for me. I'm not going to watch it. It's a horror movie. So I kind of know at least I know, I think what happens in that movie. But I would say X. Isn't technically the evil grandma from X? Isn't that technically Pearl? I never watched past X. I thought it was absurd. But I would go with that. I think that's my answer. She's motivated. She's driven by reasons I won't say, but I will go with her. I'll go with that. Good question though. That's a fun one. Titus with the super chat says, "Why do Stranger Things get so much hate? Did you like it?" I did like it. I still love it. It's my favorite show of all time. I think it got hate. Probably. I think a lot of it was hyperbolic. I stand by that. I think a lot of it was hyperbolic, overreaction, social media oriented stuff. I think a lot of people, I mean, I was theorizing like hell. A lot of us were. I theorized endlessly for years. We all did here in the community. And I think a lot of people maybe got so caught up in it that they like envisioned how the show was going to play out, and it didn't go that way. But it counter to that kind of is like, I get that. I'm doing a rewatch right now, and it's like, I feel like they could have done things we theorized about, and it would have been better. But I don't know. They hate, like genuine, like vitriol, hate, like deep seated, like anger. I don't know where that came from. I don't. I still can't see the viewpoint of, oh, it's worse than Game of Thrones. I don't get that because they landed the plane with characters. I get people's critiques. I don't understand the hate though. That still, I'm like, I don't know. I really got nothing for it. I don't really have a reason why. So, yeah. Can Star Wars be saved, or did Disney do too much damage to it? I don't care for being doomsday-esque or apocalyptic about it all, but I think part of the reason why I have no desire to watch Maul Shadow Lord as a huge Star Wars fan of like elements of Star Wars is it just feels directionless. Like I genuinely I'm kind of just defeated with Star Wars right now. Like I have no excitement for any of their upcoming projects. It's so sad. Like it really truly saddens me and hurts my soul that I don't know. I think the ship might have sailed. I think decisions made post the Rise of Skywalker kind of buried the brand. I don't know personally in my life, and I hang out with friends, and I have great friends who aren't really in depth online, like all in these communities and everything, and none of them care about Star Wars. None of them. None of them do. They all think the sequels are bad. These are different people from different backgrounds, different genders. Like no one cares. I think online in these spaces, there are pockets of people who adore it. And I love the original trilogy and elements of the prequel and some of the shows and everything. I just think currently, and I hate to say this, I got to say it, I think irreparable damage has been done. It began in 2017 with The Last Jedi. The Rise of the Skywalker was kind of that final nail in the coffin. And then the mismanagement of the brand year after year with mediocre television killed it. Disney Plus, getting as big as it did, made Star Wars and arguably elements of the Marvel Cinematic Universe feel like homework to the viewer, and people didn't care. And so it really, the interests among common fans dipped drastically. And to this point, I think the Obi-Wan Kenobi show is the greatest example of the mismanagement of the franchise. We're getting a movie this year. This is the first Star Wars movie since 2019. Now, I didn't like the sequels that much. I know a lot of people didn't, but the second and third sequel films made $1 billion at the box office. So why did you stop releasing movies if your last movie made $1 billion and was critically panned, I believe, and no one really cared for it? It's deemed the worst Star Wars movie by most. It still made $1 billion. Why did you run from theaters? They put way too much stock in a streaming service that was young. Yeah, they had a good thing going with Mando. You made 2 banger seasons, and then you took 3 years off. I don't know anyone in the world outside of social media who is excited for the future of Star Wars. I don't. And it sucks. It sucks. But honestly, your next 2 movies are a movie that's basically a 4th season of TV for a show that hasn't had a season in 3 years again, and a Ryan Gosling, Sean Levy adventure. What are we doing? The world is so expansive and big. A galaxy far, far away. You literally take the freaking Jedi Fallen Order game and adapt that story into a film. I think you can make a trilogy out of it. Do something, literally just rip off Jedi Fallen Order and make a story about a Jedi who evaded Order 66, is living out in the outskirts, and have something with Jedi, something with Sith, something that's not the Acolyte. I just don't know. So I'm going to shut up. I know a lot of you guys don't care about Star Wars. It's just, it sickens me. So I unfortunately think too much damage has been done. Do you ever think they'll do a live action series directly tied to the main story of Stranger Things? I hope. I'm kind of hopeful that maybe that's what the live action spinoff is going to be. I know they said they kind of hyped it up and then went nowhere with it. So maybe they're just like not allowed to say yet. And then we'll get some news later this year. But I hope, I don't know if this would be like a sequel, or I don't know if that'll ever happen, but I hope we get something like within the world of Stranger Things, like loosely associated, if that makes sense. Let's see. We're going for an hour. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for sticking around. Who's your favorite Spider-Man? It depends on the day, and I'm serious when I say that. Everyone smash that like button. Yeah, be sure to hit that like button. It truly does help out. Ready? Boom. Everyone do it. Boom. Thank you. Hold on. '2014 might be the most underrated year for movies. Guardians 1, Nightcrawler, Interstellar, Gone Girl, Winter Soldier, Days of Future Past, Whiplash, all bangers. Yeah, 2014 was fire. I saw Guardians in theaters, I saw Interstellar in theaters, I saw Winter Soldier in theaters. TASM 2 was 2014. We got, correct me if I'm wrong, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes 2014, I think. Maybe. I think I might be onto something there. So yeah, 2014 had some bangers, dude. Definitely underrated year. You said Days of Future Past? Yeah, that was also that year. Great year. Keep watch burn Civil War, No Way Home, Deadpool, and Wolverine. I will burn Deadpool and Wolverine because I think of the 3, it's the one that I can live without. I'm keeping Civil War because of its genuine importance to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and truly is like a top tier film in that series for so many characters, mind you. And then I would watch No Way Home because I got to have that experience. Yeah, I think this hits the nail on the head. I agree, Jacob. Will you give Invincible a shot? I kind of have. I mean, I've seen the first 3 seasons. Season 1 is like elite. Season 2 is a huge dip. Season 3 didn't do a lot for me. And season 4, I've heard is so up and down that I'm kind of just off of it currently. Let's see. So I kind of already addressed this earlier. Hopefully you guys caught my thoughts on Maul, or Star Wars rather. All right. I would die for Frozen 3. I think we're getting Frozen 3 like next year. And I think a 4th as well, to be completely honest with you. The film stocked awards. Yeah, that could be fun. I'm telling you, it could be fun if I just kind of make up my own awards. Have you watched the Devil's new show? Something very bad is going to happen. I haven't, but I need to. I've avoided spoilers. I want to. It's just, again, I was doing a rewatch of The Boys. That's like 32 episodes. So I that's how I've been spending a lot of my time. That's why I haven't watched as many movies this year. I've been grinding the TV. I watched all of Peaky Blinders, all of The Boys again. Daredevil Born Again season 2. I watched 11/22/63, It Welcome to Derry season 1, One Piece, a whole season, and then 3 episodes of it. Percy Jackson season 2. Yeah, I've been really his and hers. Like I've been watching a lot more TV this year. Couldn't get past the third Friday the 13th, so I've heard they get kind of crazy, but I've heard they're fun. 2027 shaping up to be one of the biggest movie years ever. Avatar 3, Avengers Secret Wars, The Batman 2, all in the same year. Are you more excited for 27 or 26? 2026. We're getting a Nolan movie with The Odyssey. We're getting Doomsday, Spider-Man. We've got a Hunger Games film coming out. There is Dune 3. There is Toy Story 5, which I'm actually kind of buying into. With 2027, I'm not an Avatar fan personally, and I know that Avatar, I think it's actually Avatar 4, and I think it's going to get delayed based on what I've seen. But the Batman 2 and Secret Wars, obviously. The Batman 2, I'm very pumped forward. Technically, I think Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out next year. So, like, it's going to be a huge year in 27, but yeah. Yeah, shout out you guys. It's been a great stream so far. Vampire Diaries recently added Netflix. Cam has been on my case to watch that show. I got to at some point. Favorite Marvel character is Iron Man. This is well said. I think Doomsday is going to have a huge opening weekend, but the quality of the film will dictate its other weeks. I agree wholeheartedly. I think it has a monster. I think it has the biggest opening weekend of the year. I mean, and that might not be 600, like I said earlier, but it's gonna top Mario Galaxy. You know, it's just an Avengers movie. We also don't know. We don't know what to expect. I'm again, it's that curiosity that killed the cat. Am I excited for Outer Banks season 5? Yes, certainly I am. I hope we get some news on it soon. We're kind of due for a release date. I'd imagine we have that by the end of this month. So yeah, I'm very excited for it. I'll be making a lot of Outer Banks content when we finally get some more news on it, you know? True, at least they didn't kill Indiana Jones. That's a good thing. That's good. That would have really ruined the movie. Top 5 sports movies. I'll go Remember the Titans, Miracle, Moneyball, Rocky, and maybe I'll throw a bone to like Coach Carter. Who will die in Outer Banks season 5? If anyone dies, it will be Drew Starkey's character, Rafe. I think he might go. I don't think they'll kill any of the main pogues. I think they reserve that for what happened in season 4. I think from now on they're gonna be safe. I think they're gonna be safe. Hope you enjoy House of the Dragon, or Hot D as I call it sometimes. Scariest horror movie you've seen? Probably like in Conjuring 1 or 2 or Insidious. Let's see. Really looking forward to Masters of the Universe. I am going to check it out. Best thing Star Wars on the past decade is Andor and Rise of the Resistance at Disney Parks. Yeah, that ride is so much fun. Andor Season 1 is fantastic. Andor Season 2, I've not seen yet. That's one of the Star Wars projects. I need to like separate it and just do it at some point and just watch it. But it's like just not on like, it's not like high on my priority right now list. Oh, I just knocked something over. When do I think the spinoff for Stranger Things will come out? That's a damn good question. So we're getting Tales from 85 this April. I imagine they're doing a second season from what I've heard that's going to come out either the end of this year or next year. I would really think you'd have to imagine they have to have a live action spinoff show out in 2027 for it to still be like not relevant, but for it to be there to be as much buzz. Maybe though, maybe they don't come out with it until 28. I mean, we'll see, but ideally they have one out next year. They would need to get going on that now, though, and I don't think they are. Let's see. At some point, yes, I will be returning to these. I kind of explained earlier in the stream. They fell to the wayside a little bit, but I'll bring them back at some point. I hope to check out Dexter at some point. It's a show that's been recommended to me endlessly. It just has the caveat of it sort of falling off later on, and that's always kind of deterred me from actually committing my time to it. Do I prefer live action Scooby-Doo or animation? I mean, I'm always going to say the OG. I watched those, live action movies at a much later age, like last year, I think, for the first time, or the year before. And for me, I lean the OG version of that show. Any storylines or things you would have loved to see, plus storylines you would have created? I would have loved to have seen elements of season 5 be, more high stakes out the gate. I think that if I could go back, and this is something I've come to terms with on my rewatch, and it's out of anyone's control because of the time jump they decided to go with, but mainly like the strikes. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt, but the point I'm trying to make is I would have not had a time jump. Sorry for the train outside. I would have not had a time jump. I would have opened season 5 right on that hillside, and I would have had it be more apocalyptic in a sense. I just think that the time jump, it works in some elements, but for some parts of the season, I'm like, I wish that like how much more urgency would there have been if like the season opened on that hillside and like the threat was imminent from the jump, You think Doomsday will top Infinity War Endgame? I don't think it'll top Endgame. It could top Infinity War, and I don't know. Like, I understand hesitance with predicting this movie's box office from some because of 2025's Marvel Cinematic Universe box office output, but genuinely and realistically and honestly, let's break it down in retrospect. I want to. So the first movie was Captain America. It did about $415 million. It wasn't Steve Rogers led, and it wasn't that great. That automatically disqualified it from having long enough legs. Boom. Thunderbolts, the best Marvel movie from last year, mind you, did the worst, did like 380 mil. Why? Probably because of the title of the movie, genuinely, and the fact that it's characters that people don't love as much. Fantastic Four has never really been as big of a box office player as it was. I overvalued that. A lot of people in the community did, predicting it. It had Pedro Pascal, had a good cast. I think he did like, I don't even know what it did. 500 maybe? So it underperformed. None of those movies include major players. Because if you go rewind the clock, 2024, $1 billion film in Deadpool and Wolverine. And yeah, there were like cameos in that movie, but it's Deadpool and Wolverine. Like those two characters sold because they're big names. 2023, Guardians 3 does numbies because they're big recognizable names. Now, I know the Avengers lineup currently doesn't really... We don't know what the Avengers lineup truly is. But it's the name. It's the name brand recognition. There were people seeing Endgame who hadn't even seen Infinity War. My friend's mom didn't even see Infinity War and then saw Endgame. I remember he told me. So it's just like, I think the name recognition is what I'm banking on. And I could be completely wrong, but I just think Doomsday is going to sell. All right, let's see. I'm going to go for about 8 more minutes probably. So fire off your questions and I'll get to as many as I can. How's Indy? He's a good boy. What movies disappointed you the most? Damn near Dial of Destiny, to keep ragging on that one. I always come back to that movie. I've never seen From, so I can't predict anything for it. Yeah, I loved the first 2 episodes of The Boys. I am elated to see the rest, and I will be checking them out every single Wednesday from here on out. Do you have the Lego Crew House? I have it right there. I'm looking at it right now. It's a fun build. I hope you enjoy building it. If you do and decide to get it, that is. I did. I actually reacted to it here on the channel. A little one last adventure reaction from back in January, I think it was. Best needle drop from Stranger Things. There's a few, I think. Running Up That Hill when Max evades Billy. I think the Separate Ways remix when Max pulls up at the Creel House. I think Material Girl's an underrated one from season 3 when they're, at the mall. Those come to mind immediately. Do you think we'll have another Oscar race this year? I predict Matt Damon and Tom Cruise will be front runners. I could see that happening. I would also say... Ryan Gosling might be in the conversation. And I've kind of come around on that idea because of Michael B. Jordan winning. I'm like, anything's possible, guys. Like, I did not at all expect him to be nominated after watching Sinners, but he won the damn thing. It's about being charismatic. It's about campaigning like hell and winning over the voters. And Gosling can probably do that. He's been nominated multiple times. I could see him getting a nom and winning. Like, it doesn't, I don't know what to predict anymore because it's like, who can just people please the most? Like, that's kind of what it feels like. I'm not trying to take a jab at Michael B. Jordan or anything, but it's just like, what are we doing? You know, it's just strange at this point. So, but Cruise is due. He probably will be nominated. Matt Damon for The Odyssey, probably nominated. This is what I've heard. Night of Seven Kingdoms is better, but I haven't seen it. And I've also been told many times I gotta watch School Spirits. What I think of the Quiet Place series, the first two are great. I've only seen them both like once or twice. The first one I think I've seen twice. The second one I've seen once. And then day one was strong. I think I overrated it though on initial viewing. I haven't seen it since theaters. I am not reacting to The Boys. I'm just watching it in my free time, on my own time. Official songs of each training season. That's a fun question. Season 4 obviously is Running Up That Hill. Season 3 is probably Neverending Story. Season 2, I would say the Ghostbusters theme. And then season 1, I would say Should I Stay or Should I Go? Season 5, Heroes. No, yes, Heroes, the David Bowie version that plays over the credits. Yeah, the Oscars kind of do seem like a popularity contest now. It's strange. I feel like the switch from military antagonist from Sullivan to Linda Hamilton kind of sucked. Hamilton's character was so bad and lacked threat. I think the biggest mistake Stranger Things made was putting such a huge emphasis on the military. No one really gave a crap. And even when I watched season 4 for years before season 5, I was like, I don't care about the Sullivan stuff. It's the influence of the military. They're just one note and uninteresting. Truly. Are you and Cam going to watch Dune 1 and 2 before 3? Yes, we are. Yes, that's the plan. That's the plan. I saw the Dune 3 trailer in 70mm IMAX and it was sick. And so I'm like, I probably should rewatch these movies and give at least the second one a fair swing because I was a little lower on it than most people. But I enjoyed the first. I think the first is a solid 4 out of 5. 2, I don't even think I gave a rating to. I was just like, I don't know how to feel. I liked it, but I got to revisit that one for sure. Hey, what do you honestly think about Tales from 85? I'm like the biggest Stranger Things fan and then was happy when it finished and don't care for the new show and think it's going to do, don't think it's going to do justice. I kind of addressed this earlier, and I'll bring it up one more time. I think that I'm just fearful of the show. I think I question. I'm very like I'm kind of concerned. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm curious more than anything. I want to know what the rationale for making it is and what purpose it's going to serve. We'll see. We'll find out this month, but we'll find out. That's all I'll say. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, am I the only one who's a little upset that there's different actors, Tales from 85? That's kind of like, I don't want to take a shot at animation, but this happens often. It happens with most animated projects. And I'm not saying it's an indicator of quality lessening, but it is like, it's a reminder that it's not the original. Whenever you hear them speak, it's like, oh, this is not Stranger Things. This is a spinoff. It's not Mike. It's like someone doing Mike. So it's kind of just a constant reminder. Thoughts on Daniel Pemberton's work? He's phenomenal. He also did the Spider-Verse films, at least across. He's great. What is the track? Is it called Fishing? Is that the name of the track? That one gets you to lock in. I've seen so many TikToks about it. Time Go Fishing. God, what a track. It's probably my favorite score of the year. I hope it gets nominated. Question. I know you liked season 5, but you have to admit it just felt different. It lacked the soul the other seasons had, in my opinion. It was a huge letdown, not saying the ending's full. Oh, no, I agree with you. Yeah, I'm doing a rewatch right now on Patreon, and I agree. Like, it's, especially like a few months removed, I totally agree with you that it doesn't have like the 80s nostalgia and the whimsy and the charm of the other seasons. It's because we're in this quarantine. There's a militarized Hawkins. It's just different. It's a completely different vibe. So I agree with you. Yeah, to have a different feel to it. I totally agree. I liked the ending, but no, I definitely have. My eyes have been open to some things that I maybe let slide earlier just because I was so hyped up to be watching this thing finally. Yeah, I'm definitely more critical of things now. I still love the show as a whole, though. I think Tom Holland will have 2 more Spider-Man movies. I think they're gonna get another trilogy out of the man. He can't say no to all that money. This super chat here from Mall Shadow Lord says, have you seen my show yet? If not, may one day end up like Kenobi. No, I have not. but I'm not worried because Obi-Wan handles business in the end. Boy, he slices him in half, you know. Maul always thought he was cooler than Obi-Wan, but he never was. He never was. Yeah, I will watch it at some point, probably. But the thing about, and this is me with animation, I gotta binge animation shows. I watched The Day After Tomorrow earlier today. Very cheesy. It was okay. I've never seen it. Is that the Dennis Quaid movie with Jake Gyllenhaal? Thoughts on people saying Up isn't good at the first 10 minutes? Blasphemy. I mean, it is so, it's like that is the setup for the film, and the rest of the movie is all about, it brings the theme to life. You know, adventures out there is the core message of the film. And it's a beautiful story, really, where someone who is, you know, Carl, he's down on his luck. He feels like he didn't live the life he wanted to because he kind of got depressed post Ellie, and he's like this grumpy old man. This kid comes into his life and he goes on this adventure and he does everything he wanted to do with her. It's beautiful. It gets me emotional. I really don't care for the dismissal of the back half of that film because, like, yeah, the first 10 minutes are great, but everything else is still adventure filled and it's powerful. Like, it ultimately he learns like to let go of those things too. Like he goes on this adventure, but he's like, in the end, he's like, I have the memories, and like he learns to let go. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful story, in my opinion. We're about to wrap this thing up, though. I actually have to go eat some dinner. My tummy is starting to rumble. So I'll take a few more here. If you want to guarantee that I get your question, super chat is the way to go to guarantee that I can get to your question, but we're going to wrap this thing up here in a few minutes. It's been a great stream. I want to thank everyone who has tuned in live. Been a great crowd tonight. I appreciate you guys for, you know, just being well behaved. Sometimes the streams get out of hand, but this one was fun. I felt like it was vintage. It was a vintage stream. I really enjoyed it. I have seen You on Netflix. I really enjoyed it. It's not a show I see myself going back to, but I watched all 5 seasons. It ended last year. Am I a fan of Static Shock? Is this Daveed Diggs' character? I need to double check. I think that's who this is. Let's see. Oh, I don't know who this is. Static Shock. It's a TV show from the 2000s. I have never seen this. I think I might have seen, like, I'm familiar with this character when I look at the poster, but I've never seen the show. I've never seen the show. I was like, is this a new character from The Boys? But no, I haven't seen Static Shock. I know. Any comic book character requests for me to draw? Yeah, I'll give you. Can it be them from a movie? I would say we'll go with Johnny Storm turning into the Human Torch when he says "Flame on." There you go. I'm certainly excited for Disclosure Day, but I am skeptical with new Spielberg just because you never know. You never know. You never know. All right. I love the Lego games. Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, Lego Indiana Jones 1 and 2, Star Wars. Those were the best ones to me growing up. DC Batman was fun too. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the kind words. It's always good to stream. I'm going to catch up on some 2026 movies over the weekend. Bone Temple could be one of them. I'm hopeful for Adventures of Cliff Booth. I'm hopeful. Crazy week for Common Herds. You got that right. Do you miss Cobra Kai? I do. Cobra Kai never dies, though. It never dies. Doomed is going to be generational. Let's hope so. It'll be talked about for better or worse. Thanks for everything, Chris. Well, hey, thank you guys for joining. I think that's going to do it for the stream. I'm going to run so I can go eat some dinner. I appreciate you guys for tuning in live or on the replay. Be sure to hit that like button if you're in here now and you haven't. Helps out tremendously. Let's get at least to 100 likes. But no, that was a great stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was a lot of fun. Felt vintage. If you sent a super chat, thank you so much for your support. If you hit the like button, if you commented, if you just watched silently, thank you so much for being here. Got lots of videos coming soon. I also posted a brand new Stranger Things tier list today. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I did a tier list of the seasons for every character. So I had a lot of fun. I made 5 tiers. And basically the character from each season went in a version of that tier. So just check that out. Go show some support to that video. It was a fun one. And lots of content coming your way in April, especially Tales from 85 stuff near the back half of the month. I'm really excited about sharing some of that. But thank you guys. As always, stay tuned for more videos and shorts coming very soon. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.